Hi guys, welcome back to Fuse Custom Works. I know I haven't been in the camera for a while now, but we're very busy with work and with the gun stuff and the 3D printing, just haven't had the time. Today we're going to look at the 1022 platform, or the KJ Works KC-02. As you can see, this one's in the CBRPS bullpup stock, codenamed Deadless, but we're going to take it out and we're going to do a strip down, show you how to take it apart, how to clean, how to maintain the gun. Obviously I'll be taking out the stock first. You'll just undo the 2 bolts on your original stock, or whichever stock you've got fitted to the gun, and we'll go from there, so stay tuned for more. So as you can see, I've got a slightly longer barrel on this gun, but this won't differ the process to take your KC-02 apart. First of all, we're going to remove these screws off the top rail here, along with the hot wheel. Be careful not to lose this little pin and spring which holds the hot wheel in place, and that's what gives you the clicks, positive clicks when you turn the hot wheel on and off. So let's remove those now. Now, underneath you'll see the spring and the little pin, and then we're going to remove 2 retaining screws that hold the outer barrel onto the action. And you've got a shim which sits just between that plate and the action where it mounts to. Just set that to one side. So you'll see a slight difference in this one where it's been modified on these edges to fit this CBRPS stock. Yours will just have flat edges if you're using the original stock. And the outer barrel can be removed, along with the hot unit. You're going to set that to one side, and then we've got the action free. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to tap out 2 pins located here and here. Sometimes they can get a bit stuck. You can just get an Allen key or a screwdriver just to push them out. These ones need a bit of a tap. Go. Remove that pin. There you go. Mine are a little harder to get out because what I did was just dab a bit of super glue as the pins have gone into the action, just to keep them in place. Right, so what we want to do is we want to force the charging handle back, and then that will enable us to lift the bolt out. bolt assembly. And then we've got the recoil spring. Which you can just pull out gently. Like that. Then your charge handle pops out, and you can swap these for any aftermarket charging handles or anyone's doing on the owners group. There's a few good guys that make them. And the last thing we've got left is the bolt stop there, which is just an extra pin on the action just there. Now I'm not going to remove that because there's not really much point. It's quite clean, there's no debris. And all I'll do is just put a bit of perhaps a bit of grease between the lever and the action, just to make sure it doesn't snag up. So I've got the bolt, and then what we're going to do is just going to tap this pin out here on the back. And that will allow you to pull where you see your original piston. You might just have to get a small flathead screwdriver just in between that and the bolt and just lever it forward slightly, as they can be a bit stubborn, like that. And then your piston and nozzle will come out, and then that's your bolt fully disassembled. Go ahead and clean that. And then with your piston and your nozzle, you've got this little washer on the back. If we remove that, it shows the pin which holds the nozzle spring. So we're just going to push that one out as well. Get our pliers, just pull the pin out from the other side and you'll hear it click. And you can pull your piston out and your nozzle. And if you want to take that any further, I don't normally, but you've got an extra pin just located here on the nozzle. If you push that out, it'll allow the nozzle spring and the valve inside and the spring, the valve spring, that'll all come out the back, and you can clean that if need to. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a good chance to switch them out for any upgrade parts that are available as well. And then we've got your trigger mechanism, and we'll get delved into that in just a moment. So we're going to take the trigger mechanism apart. First of all, we're going to remove the mag release just by pushing the pin. That'll come out. Mag release and the mag release spring will pop out. Then we can push these forward and that'll come out as well. Furthermore, what we're going to do is we're going to push the hammer pin out, which is this one here. Careful just to hold everything in place while you do it. Everything will spring forward. Let it all loose. Got another pin here. Push that one out as well. And it wants to come out. There we go. And the last thing we've got to come out is the trigger, which is the final pin. So push that pin out. Then we can remove this. If you want to do your best to hold the trigger in place, and you can put your screwdriver out. And finally, you've got the trigger return, stopper and spring, and you can just pull that out with a pair of pliers as well. Just be careful not to lose them. And finally, I'm going to push the safety out as well. Again with the safety, you've got a ball bearing and a spring. Just be careful not to lose those. So right now we're going to go ahead and clean everything, wipe everything down, make sure it's got no debris, no dust, no grit, and then when we come back we're going to reassemble. Right, now with everything cleaned, we're going to go and reassemble the, starting with the trigger mate going back, and then we're going to take the hop and barrel apart, make sure that's all clean as well. As we go along, we're going to put grease where we need them, and any silicone spray as well where we need that as well. So first of all, I'm going to get the safety, put the spring back in, along with the ball bearing. This can be a bit tricky. What will help is just putting a spot of grease. Get it all in place. I'm going to push the ball bearing in as you slide the safety back in. There we go. Next we're going to put the trigger return spring and stopper in, like that. I'm going to hold that in place, and then we're going to put the trigger assembly back into the housing as well. That goes in. Screwdriver just to align the pins, like that, and that makes it easy for you then to just pop the pin back in, pushing the screwdriver out the other side. So now you've got trigger in place, what we're going to do is start assembling the rest, starting with the hammer spring. When we have the hammer back in with the spring, I'm just going to hold it in there with a screwdriver, which will make it easy for us to assemble the rest of the bits and pieces. There we go. It's a little bit tricky to do. I'm sure there's many different ways of doing it, but this is easy. This is just the way I do it, so I've always done it. So now we're going to take the little spring inside, we're going to reattach it. To the valve locker. There we go. And then we're going to reassemble. most of the moving parts. Just like that. And finally, we're going to take our final pin for the hammer assembly and sort of push it through as we're retracting the screwdriver. There we go. So, a bit of jiggering, pokering, just persevere as you're doing the pins and the spring, especially for the valve knocker, and just take your time with it, and it's as easy as that. Like I say, this isn't the only method of doing it, it's just the way I've been doing it. So that's set to one side. I'm going to reassemble the bolt. We have this nozzle return spring, and we have it goes in the hole in your piston depending on what type of piston you are using. I'm just going to thread that through. The middle of the piston. Going to align the hole in the back of the piston. Then we're going to get this little pin push it through, and then if that's done successfully, you should be able to pull the nozzle and it will retract back over the piston. Pop the washer back over the piston to hold the pin in place, and then we're going to return that into the bolt. Just make sure that's all seated properly. And then we're going to get the pin for the bolt. Give that a tap back in. Slight tap with the screwdriver, just so it sits below the surface. Bolt reassembled. Just going to get some silicone, the moving parts, any points of contact, and then I put some on the rubber of the piston as well. Round, that's good to go. What I do when I get charging handle, get that seated into your turn spring. Spring back in the recess like that, and then we're going to pull the charging handle back. Key for this is keeping this charging handle straight and square on. So you'll see as on the spring it tries to rock. So as you hold it, you got to try and hold it as straight as you can like that. Bolt. That's your upper assembly back together. I'm going to seat the trigger mech back in. Get your 2 pins. So they shouldn't be this tight, but I do tend to dab a tiny bit of super glue on each pin just to stop them from rocking loose. That's that back together. And then take a quick look at the hop. this out gently. Remove the washer. Then we're going to turn this off using a pair of pliers. Like that. And then slowly turn it anti-clockwise. This will differ if you are using the 3D printed hop units, the VSR compatible ones. Unless you kick it old school like me. And you remove your hop. So your hop chamber, got the hot rubber, then we've got your barrel. So we're going to make sure this is all clean, which it is. Barrel's clean, hot rubber's clean. Just going to do a quick wipe over the hop unit. Stay clean, and then we're just going to reverse the process. So we're going to push the hot rubber over, just like so. Going to line the right slots there. Put your collar back over the barrel. Then we're going to screw it back into place. And then we're not going to do this too tight, we're just going to nip it up with the pliers. Just make sure it's going nowhere. It's all good. Set your washer back on, and then thread your barrel back through. You'll see here I am using an extended outer barrel, which I hide with the barrel extension in the bullpup kit that I use. Just going to line all that correctly again. Pop it back into the receiver. Reattach two mounting screws. Now we're going to get these 90% there, then we're going to place the shim back in and then tighten it up. Just enough space. I'm going to get the shim, I'm going to put that back between the two, just like so. I'm going to make sure it's central. Then we're going to tighten them opposite just so we know that it's all square. Again, don't need to go too tight on these, just get them up. That's your receiver back together, the barrel. I'm going to take the upper rail section and place my hand on there so the screws don't fall out. I'm going to take our little pin and the spring. I'm going to place this back on top of our barrel. Like so. Flip it over. Notice a difference here. if you're using a standard KC-02, you will have a rail extension here that fits on with these 2 extra screws here, and then this screw goes through the 2 bits of rail. Obviously with the kit I use, I can't use that, and it's pointless anyway because I run a rail on the top of the bullpup kit. So you'll see that's why I'm no longer using that. And then finally, you've got the hop adjuster, and as you can see there, I've just glued a piece of Delrin and then just fold it down to size just to give me that extra bit of hop that the standard KC-02 is missing. Then we're just going to put the hot wheel back in. Until it starts clicking. There we go. Then my hop's normally just on the last click. And there we go. So it's simple as that. Obviously the results will differ on different kits and different stocks that you are using, but for the action, the mag's pretty straightforward. It's just a Allen screw on the bottom of the mag, pull it apart, put a bit of grease in or silicone spray, whichever you use, and that is it. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time where we'll be doing hopefully more videos. We're going to do a trip out to Vegas next weekend. I'll be trying to capture as much video with that as possible, and then we're going to visit Evike, and we may possibly, it's been mentioned, we might be bumping into Jet from Desert Fox Airsoft. Whether that's true I don't know just yet, but we'll be supporting Concept Tactical with the trimmer and trying to push the trimmers over in the States. So stay tuned guys, and there'll be a lot more videos coming up, and thanks for watching.